Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's had a great fishy week and welcome. Sorry about last week. It's a shame that no one wanted to step up and be a super awesome presenter like us. Looks like Matt's busy reading something else on the screen and already not even interested in the podcast this morning. So that's a good start. It's a good start. Just good as his eyes glazing over and deciding he'd take a shit straight away. That'd be about as typical as that. Yeah, we've had 2 weeks of exciting fishy news now. So what have you guys had going on? Cam, how's the store exiting going? I notice you've listed lots and lots of aquariums, glass boxes.
Yeah. I took a trailer load of shit to the rubbish last week. And I've kind of swapped my priorities from that to moving house this week, so I haven't really been in here doing anything.
Yeah, you've got a house move as well, which sucks.
Yeah.
A shop move and a house move.
All the fun times.
And how long have you been in the house that you're in?
15 years.
Oh, yeah. So you would have accumulated a little bit of crap too, right? And
just a smidgen.
He keeps fish, so he's got shitloads.
Yeah, a fish, and I've got a big warehouse full of fish.
So. No, I mean crap.
Oh, right.
That's awesome. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's not. It's the opposite of fun. Whatever the word for the opposite of fun is, they need to invent one because that's what it is.
I guess the only benefit is now that you've closed the shop, you're pretty much a bum, so you've got lots of time to do it.
Yeah. But if I look through my emails for the shop, there's about 30,000 emails to get through. So I don't feel like a bum at the moment, and technically I'm not a bum at the moment. So yeah.
The good thing is you look like a bum. So.
Oh, good. I fit right in.
Yeah,
but he does have a good T-shirt on.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take it off?
Oh Jesus, that's Matt's thing.
That's what you do, eh?
Motherfuckers.
Branton said he's often mistaken for a homeless person too, Cam. So it's not just you.
Yeah, me. I mean, yeah, other people.
Cool. So I guess you haven't officially got a closing date for the store. You're still just trying to get rid of stuff.
Oh, the shop itself, the physical shop is closed. We closed it a couple of weeks back. The online store is still functioning. I've sold all my fish that I had for sale. So that side of it's done. It's just dry goods and plants and stuff like that. And we'll just work from there and we'll see how we go.
And in the new house, is there a fish room? That is the most important thing.
There is a car hole, which I'm allowed to put fish into. So, yeah, there'll be some...
Single or a double one?
It's just a single one. It's roughly the same size as my current fish room, a little bit smaller, but not by much. So we'll see how I can make things work. But all the house stuff is in there at the moment, and so that has to stay there for the time being until my lovely wife works through it. So might not have fish there for 6 months.
So you're moving all of the stuff to be sorted into the garage and then into the house. Is that what you're doing?
To an extent, because it was a bit of a shotgun move, we have just put everything in boxes and labeled it, and then we'll kind of put it into rooms. And then I'm a big fan of, we haven't used this for 6 months, let's throw it out. My wife's more of a big fan of, we haven't used this in 5 years, let's keep it in a box for a bit longer. So we'll see how that goes.
So what you're saying is you won't actually have a fish room because shit's just going to sit there forever and you're not going to have a roof for your fish.
I'm going to be pushing pretty hard to have a fish room. If I need to covertly get a skip in front of the house when she's at work one day and then her come home to a massive surprise that she doesn't want, then that's going to happen.
I would love to be there for that.
I don't know. There's nothing really covert about a skip.
Well, there is if it's a surprise. I could text you. I've got a surprise for you when you get home. Something really fantastic's happening when you get home. See how that works.
You could get a skip in and then get like camouflage netting, get some cam netting, and just throw that over it, and she won't be able to see it. That'd be the way to do it. And she'd go up and she'd go, oh my God, what's this tree in our driveway? And she wouldn't even know. That's probably what Kim would have to do to me.
In Nelson, they'll probably confuse it for another house.
Yeah, all the local people would come
you got me a
take
new
everything
house.
out of it.
That's great.
What a spoon.
We got a skip in and filled it in a day.
Yeah.
And we had it for 5 days, and then they charged us extra weight because I put too much stuff in it. So yeah, I can, and we're probably due to get another skip in, I reckon.
It's quite interesting how easily you can accumulate shit, eh?
Yeah, I agree. So that's your fishing news. In the new fish room, how many tanks are you sort of planning? The same use? How many are you planning?
Yeah, just the 2 or 3 big ones is all I'm sort of gunning for, and then I'll work it out from there.
Right. And are you gonna keep some of the fish room operating from there, or is it just gonna shut down?
I don't know just yet. We'll just see how things go. Yeah, I don't know. We'll work it out as we play it. So for now, just need to move house and go from there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good starting point.
I think so too. And then probably find a job is probably the next point that needs to happen because, apparently you need money to do stuff in life. Apparently.
Yeah, it's semi-important.
A little bit. Yeah, you said semi.
Callum has 20 acres. That'll be a lot of. I'd put a lot of crap on 20 acres.
You have at least 1 cow on 20 acres, surely.
There are lots
You
of
could have
yummy
like
cows.
100 shipping container fish rooms.
Yeah, imagine how many shipping containers you can bury on there. And Matt, what have you been up to? You've been building a fish room, I believe.
Yes, I have enclosed my fish room. So it wasn't a double garage, and I've framed it up, done the ceiling, insulated the fuck out of it. So that was the last weekend's mission, which is really cool. So trying to make it more efficient out there, and then now start moving stuff around and making it more ergonomic, that sort of thing.
And you've been doing that with a bung length wrist too, right?
Yeah.
And that's been working
So I think
okay.
it's pretty good achievement, I feel. I did have help, but yeah, it was pretty slow going at certain points when I couldn't like hold stuff very well.
Yeah, because you've only got one arm.
Yeah, or like
Is that because you're the drummer from Def Leppard?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
So like these 3 fingers I can kind of use, so I can clamp down, and so I was like trying to hold stuff, which
especially
wasn't
big
smart,
sheets of jib too. That would have been fun.
Yeah, not the smartest idea because it's still putting weight through my wrist.
Rumor has it any more than 3 fingers is a waste and uncomfortable anyway, so you're doing okay with 3.
Yeah, sweet. Does the pinky count though?
No, behave.
Oh, no.
It's 7 in the morning, behave.
Oh damn! That just escalated, didn't it?
Bad humans.
So you're just
other
doing
than that,
you're doing a single garage fish room, is that right? Just like Matt, just like Cam's.
Yeah, I can't quite convince to go out to a double. That's okay this time.
Your missus?
Yeah.
Have you tried marrying her? That might help.
Nah, fuck that. Last one I tried to marry 2 lesbians, so that's off the cards.
But did you have a double garage fish room at that time?
No,
So the theory still wouldn't have worked then.
no.
And you're insulating all this first, like every single wall, is it, and the ceiling and everything?
Yeah, so like there are a couple of windows, so we've boarded them up, then insulated, then boarded that up, and then ceiling and the new wall is all insulated. So it's either insulated or it's cinder block. So
cool.
I've always struggled with windows in fish rooms because I do think you need them for ventilation, but then obviously they're a massive heat soak if they're not double glazed, and you're not going to go out and drop $3,000 on double glazed unit for your fish room. So
stick a bit of
I
poly on.
mean, these windows were pretty. Ventilation would be a understatement.
old rotten windows, old wooden ones, are they or something?
Yeah, and like the slat windows as well, like where they
yeah.
marry over.
Yeah, there's no way to seal those up.
Yeah, that don't close anymore because they're 40 years old, and and plus, like with the garage door, there is ventilation anyway. So there's gaps around there. Yeah,
Is it a roller door? Oh, good luck with that.
So you haven't insulated that?
I've got a roller door here, and like I can literally feel the hot air getting sucked out of it in the wintertime, and my power bill going up. So have fun trying to do something with that.
You got to build a false wall over that, probably. Was that how you get in and out?
That is how I get in and out, but I have a plan for winter. I just need to do it. So summertime will be fine. It acts as like its own heater.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So I figure we're going into summer. I can just forget about it for a little bit and deal with it later.
Forget about it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you have a large air pump set up, I guess. You're using the Pond 1 or something?
I will.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a couple of Halia compressors.
Oh, the big metal noisy ones.
Yeah.
The blowers.
But yeah, so like they're all on like dual pumps at the moment. So I didn't want to set up the compressors prior to having it all where I wanted it. Because then I was just fucking around with the airline too much. So I'll set the room up exactly where I want it, and then I'll run the airlines. Do it once, do it right. Measure twice, cut 10 times.
And then pull it out and redo it when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So not fish. Not 3 Idiot style.
No, it'll be 3 Idiot style.
All right, cool. So the big question is, can you seal aquariums? Because Ryan clearly can't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
it safe for fish? Is it safe for fish? I don't know. Can fish take mortar epoxy?
If it's set, probably. Most epoxy is set fairly inert.
But it won't leak.
There you go.
It's going to be fun drilling like 30 tanks though. So I'll be taking a wager as to how many I'm going to completely smash.
I've drilled hundreds and only cracked one. And that was because I got impatient and pushed too hard. So, yeah.
But you're also like the self-proclaimed king of DIY, and you can do everything. Like you don't even have the DIY daddy title. You've got, I'm just a DIY guy. So you can do everything.
Bye, Kim.
No, we don't do
Bye,
that
Kim.
anymore. They say goodbye, Kim. What?
See you in a month, Kim.
It's not a month. Don't say that. It's like 3 months.
I was going to say, are you going up early? Are you going up early? Because shit, I just booked my accommodation and I might have fucked that up.
Isn't it in January?
No.
When is it?
End of Feb.
Oh, sweet ass. Plenty of time's not worry about it.
Have you booked accommodation?
Mate, I haven't even booked my own personal accommodation for my house tonight. I don't know what I'm doing in February.
I think we're putting Cam up. Cam's going to help with the food, so we're going to sort Cam out, I think.
Oh, right.
So he'll be sorted.
But yeah,
Someone said
other than me building,
they forgot about the hammer setting on their drill when they tried to drill some tanks. So I would not hammer drill them. It's usually reserved for concrete, not for glass.
yeah.
you-
But no,
are you gonna
other than
are
me
you
being
gonna-
builder, I've got heaps of fish breeding at the moment. Which is
Are you going to
great.
drill them danger style with water and fish in them, or are you going to empty them and take them outside and do them?
Well,
I've done both.
the problem is I don't feel like getting saturated. Although no, like I can just lower the water line and
You
then
drop the
do
water
it.
level. I just dropped the water level. I dried the inside of the tank and stuck tape all over it. Tape where I was drilling, so that the collect all the glass. And then someone sit there with a spray bottle and then just slowly drill through from the front.
I could.
It seemed to work. It definitely sounds dodgy. Looks dodgy. It probably is dodgy, but
It's
it
dodgy.
does seem to work.
I just can't decide at the moment my waste pipes what size I'm going to go with. So that's my current like.
But you're like a plumbing guy. You shouldn't have that pretty much worked out to the book.
I mean, I
the
know.
book, the
I
book
know
says
exactly.
this. I'm going to use this.
I was just thinking that
no.
Cam probably thinks a hammer drill is when you use a drill to hammer a nail in. He probably doesn't actually know what that means. So I was just laughing in my own little mind about that. Thinking
I was just replying with something because I didn't quite know what it was anyway. So I was like, well, if I just put something in the comment, then it'll be okay.
I thought you were going to say that Cam thinks that that's a bedroom move.
It's probably a pole dancing move for sure.
He walks in and he just goes, "They call me the hammer."
Oh, no. Someone else is commenting that he's looking the opposite of disheveled today. He's looking pretty suave with his new haircut. So there you go.
I thought that word was elegant. Should see me in a tuxedo.
Oh, no, thank you. I've seen Matt in a tuxedo. That was bad enough. I mean, a photo of Matt in a tuxedo trying to look all queer eye for the straight guy.
He pulled it off pretty well.
He definitely nailed it. If that's what he's aiming for. He nailed it.
Did he nail it with his hammer setting on his drill?
He hammered his drill. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really done a lot in the fish room this last few weeks. I was away all of last week, obviously. That's why we were not recording. And otherwise, it's just seems to be little dramas, everything going wrong in there at the moment. So I need to get out there this weekend and just start tidying things up again. The water change system keeps blowing up on me. I think I need to redo it. The irrigation piping is not really handing the jandle. Need to replace it with PVC, I think, and proper tapped fittings and stuff.
Lucky you've got some PVC glue.
Got some PVC glue. Matt is going to do a water change system in his fish room, so I'm going to wait for him to do his and then tell me the best way to do mine, fix mine. So hurry up, Matt, do yours.
I'm not doing water in though. Like I'm pretty firm on that one. I'll do water out, but I'm not doing water in. There's no plumbing out there, so it's
temporary. It's temporary setup. It's not forever.
Yeah. And if I do water out, that's all like a system that I can easily move. I don't have to start again, sort of thing.
Yeah, I might have to find some little stainless threaded barbs or something, and get the stainless. I get a PVC, pack a PVC plenum type thing, and yeah, do that.
So what do you have at the moment? You've got pressure pipe.
No, I'm using that 19mm black irrigation stuff with little plastic threaded barbs, and they're just all popping out and leaking and shit. They were okay at 100 PSA, 100. What is it?
PSI.
The opposite of the other one. They're not PSI. They're KPA, but it's 300 KPA. At 100 psi, they'll be fucking exploding. Everything will be blowing up. But at 300 kPa, they do not like it. They're all popping off. So yeah, it's done.
So instead of going through a whole mission of replacing everything, why don't you fix what you've got and put a reducing valve before you water in?
I've been through that. I had a 100 kPa reducing valve and it didn't work. So I had to go to a 300 kPa reducing valve and now it blows up.
Did you put it in properly?
Yeah, it's all in properly.
Did you spit on it first?
No.
There you go.
I did do it up so tight that I cracked it and had to put a hose clamp around it to close the crack up and make it seal. Because it's only plastic. So there you go.
Sorry, I'm just cracking myself up.
Oh God. Alan's busted out Christmas music. Mariah.
So
You're
good.
into that. You're into that, Cam, aren't you? You're into
Yep.
a bit of Mariah for Christmas.
Yeah.
What has
Bubble.
your fish been doing?
Enjoying Mariah.
Fishy stuff. Now the shellies are still going good. I'm enjoying them. I'm liking seeing all the little shelly babies around, the brevis and the Aussies. Multis still nothing, but hopefully soon. And the other most exciting ones are the blue neons and the Ushisha have started breeding properly, so I'm happy with them.
How about your rummy nodes? Are they doing anything? Oh, they all did now. Matt's rummy nodes, so they all did?
So I had one left, and then I put that long fin bristle nodes that you sent me, and then they both died.
So I win?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You win the breeding challenge and you didn't even breed them.
I am the champions, my friend. Dun, dun. And I'll keep them alive to the end. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
but-
welcome. I'd like to thank my wife, my children for being a part of this with me. Without this, I wouldn't be here where I am today.
It is interesting that mine and Matt's both died, and we got them from a different source than you. So
And it's also interesting that you sent me fish. I put said fish in tank. Said fish dies overnight and kills my rummy nose.
Okay, let's go back to the first point. You didn't get
You
it from a
sent me a
different
dead
source because I sent some fish up as well. If we remember correctly, someone took some of my fish that have been rock solid absolutely fine. I don't know who that was, so we can scratch that from the report. Thank you very much.
You didn't get fish from Nigel.
No, I got
your
fish
fish came from a different source.
Same supplier.
27 years ago.
Not the point. They came from the same supplier. You're arguing a point that is incorrect. Yes, they did come from a different time, but they're from the same supplier.
Different fish.
Mine stayed alive. I put the work into them to keep them alive, and then I sent some fish up to Matt, I believe. What he's done with them is up to him, but my fish are still alive, which means I win. And to be fair,
I'm going to say you killed mine.
To be fair, I'm probably the only person that even maybe set up a breeding tank, began altering the pH and getting some stuff going anyway. I'm guessing. Yeah, cool. So, yeah. I'm the champion. I'm number one. I'm number one.
You probably deserve to be number one for that one because you're the only one that put any effort into it. So we'll give it to you. All right. I was just concentrating on keeping them alive for a period of time to see if they were actually any good, and then I was going to breed them.
How'd that go for you?
Didn't work.
I
also shipped some fish this week, so that was exciting. Hated it.
How fun was that?
Sent some fish down to Nigel. So, and they all made it. So that's all good.
Yeah, I saw he sold out of some of them like uber quick.
Already.
So maybe he needs to buy some more.
I don't know if had a lot to do with African cichlids, but when he received them, he's like, "Oh my god, these fish are cool. I want to keep them."
I did mention to him that maybe he needs to be careful because he did say that it's from one of New Zealand's top African cichlid breeders. And I said to him, "You really don't know him that well, do you?"
Also, one of New Zealand's top idiots. Hey, I'll take the same badge.
Yeah. I forgot to mention the Goldhead comps have bred.
Cool.
There you go.
That's
Good.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
And that is the male from you, Cam,
Oh, fucking awesome.
and the female from me.
Cool.
Interestingly, they have bred in a coconut shell. Of all things.
Yeah.
So I had them in with some white labs. I've kicked the white labs out of the tank. And we'll see what happens.
Nice. Cool. Well, that's good. That's a good end to the story because I wasn't
That's
doing
right.
much with them, so I may as well go to you.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the female for a few days, and I was like, "What's going on here? Where is she hiding?"
Usually a sign. It's usually a sign
Yeah.
that they've bred or they've died.
And so I lifted up
One
the
or the
thing,
other.
and I'm like, "That's a fuck ton." Okay, put that back. Sorry for disturbing you.
Did you manage to
And
get your
respectfully.
fingers attacked or not?
Oh yeah.
Good. At least you paid for it.
Cool. So now the joy of bringing them up comes along.
Yeah, so there'll be some Goldhead comps available in 4 years' time.
If you're lucky. So what? You've got eggs at the stage, or
They are this as of this morning wrigglers.
right,
Sweet. What are you going to feed them?
You,
food?
You're going to feed them me? No.
I reckon that'll
Cool.
sort them for 4 years as well.
Cool. How are you going to store them for 4 years?
They do say you should feed fried food with a high fat content.
Cool. It could be me then.
I'm sorry. Okay. Oh shit. No, what are you planning to feed them?
Normally, I just feed my fry NLS all crushed up.
A friend of mine had good success raising the black capilla lily fry on decapsulated brine shrimp. He managed to
I do
raise
have those
large
as well.
numbers on dead food, on like non-living food, dry food, which I was surprised by because I've always started them on microworms.
Yeah, I've got micro stuff. I just tend to run out and then kill the cultures, and
Mm-hmm. And then they
Pretty much
turn into a biohazard.
And so you can still save them from there.
I've tried. When they start smelling like rotten marmite, it's usually no good.
No, you can save them from there. If you take a scoop from that and reset it, you're good to go still.
Mm.
I've also basically turned the microworm culture into sourdough, and it kicked off, and it was one of the best cultures I've ever had.
Yeah, I just
I added too much yeast to my mixture. So instead of like just sprinkling a little on, I kind of accidentally poured like half a container on it. Like, oh, we'll see what happens. And like over the next few days, it like literally fermented and bubbled, and it smelled like a brewery in my fish room. And then it all sort of calmed down, and all of a sudden, it was like the most impressive microworm culture I've ever had.
Nice.
I'm so happy.
Cool.
I used to ferment beer in my fish room. It was quite good. Nice warm place to do it.
I just drink beer in my fish room.
That's a good thing to do. I assume we don't have any listener mail because we don't do that section anymore.
Let's look, but probably not.
Let's check that.
Dun, dun,
Let's
dun.
check that. I'm actually behind. I'm going to do water changes some stage this week. I haven't done any this week on these 2 tanks here.
So we have an email from Spotify for podcasters, now Spotify for creators. Introducing Spotify for creators. Wow.
No, we're creators. We're creatives. That's what we do.
Wow. And according to YouTube, we are now live with the title of Fish Chat. So no, we've got no mail.
there's some really, really crap random questions in that one. So I'm going to go on to the next thing. You guys keep talking about fish, maybe.
Tell us
Select a
about
category.
stability.
Oh, God.
Have you tried rubbing stability onto your hair and seeing if it grows back?
No,
Follow-up
but
question.
I tell you what. If you ever want to ruin a nice shirt, pour some prime on it.
Does it stain it?
Yeah, bleaches it basically.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And it smells amazing too.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised.
Did you have any luck with your job hiring Bob the Builder questions? Did you get any exciting answers? Was another question.
Oh, nah, no one gave me anything good. It was really disappointing. But
That's what she said.
If anyone wants to work for a great reputable company, hit me up, because both people that I decided to take forward, nah.
What they both said no.
No, they said yes, and then you do your background checks, and then it was a no.
Yeah. So you selected them, then you did further vetting,
Further
and they did
investigating.
not make the cut.
Further detectiving. What do you detect for when you're detectiving?
Usually meth, THC.
So we do a health check. You've got to pass a drug test, and then drug and alcohol. Sorry, and then also like Ministry of Justice.
So you test for alcohol on the spot.
Yeah. Which you'd be surprised. We've had people turn up and like on the day of their medical, and they fucking have alcohol.
Oh no. Yeah.
But surely, like, we've all been on the piss the night before and gone to work hungover. How can that be? Do they have different levels of acceptable amounts of alcohol to be brought up?
During the day, you probably know.
Well, what if they just had a tiramisu dessert?
Well, no,
And what do you mean during the day? You've seen many photos through the group chat of you at midday having a beer, looking over some beach while you've been at work. I'm not going to name names there, so no one gets in trouble here, and it could include myself as well.
It's over 12 o'clock. It's after 12 o'clock. It's acceptable, and it's a beer or two.
But it's still the middle of the day. So how is it any different if someone's gone to lunch, had a beer with lunch, and then gone and got their drug test done?
The worst thing I did last night when I was away was a friend and I were working, and we were both stuffed. So
You've already named them. You've already named them. You might as well name them.
So we decided to leave work a little bit early, so we could get an early night. And at 3 o'clock we had some beers, and then at 1 a.m. the next morning we were still up having beers, playing cards. And the next day was even worse than the day before because we were both tired and wanted an early night. So yeah.
So are you saying you wouldn't have passed a drug and alcohol test the next day?
Probably. I mean, one time after the big Air Force function, they used a breath test on the way in on the gate, and and they breath tested me, and I blew like 200 or something. And they're like, "Oh, what do you think about that?" And I was like,
"Sweet,
fucking amazing! I was so drunk last night, and I'm under the limit now." And this big officer's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And I'm like, "Good to go." He's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." Like, sweet seal. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, dear.
Okay. I've got a question for you, a random question. Do you ever sing when you're alone? What songs?
All of the time, anything Mariah.
Mariah. Oh. Helen said, "Surely if you knew you were about to have a drug test, you'd think about what you were taking." Sounds like an intelligence test to me.
Yeah. Get on the cocaine because it clears off pretty quickly.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That is a good point, Helen. Like if you knew you were doing a drug and alcohol test, you would have had to consent to one as part of the employment process. You'd think you'd make sure you hadn't had any alcohol the night before or the day off.
Yeah,
Well,
or you'd be at least clearing your system out of anything you might need to clear out of.
If it's the night before that you're drinking, you will probably be fine the next day. But if you know that you've got a drug and alcohol test and you choose to have lunchtime beers before your test, like that's just
No, not correct, Brenton. My ex had to do a hair follicle test, and she showed up with she had brown hair the day before, and she showed up with blonde hair and passed her test. So yeah, there is a way to kill whatever was in your hair.
And that's why a lot of NRL players bleach their hair and have ridiculously short hair, long hair one day, shaved head the next, kind of thing.
Yeah.
that's why Ryan's got a shaved head.
Yeah, I drug test myself regularly just to make sure I haven't accidentally taken something. Did I get roofied, or was I just being crazy last night?
Did I get roofied, or did I take that MDMA tab?
All right. Well, that was a great story. I can take hair from anywhere. Well, you got to get creative with the
They can
bleaching.
try.
Yeah.
Who actively takes the hair from anywhere?
Okay.
What?
Anyway, what was the actual topic for today? I mean, what was the song? What was the song that you sang when you're alone, Matt? Is it?
I don't sing.
Bullshit.
You don't
Everyone
sing.
sings.
No, I
Your
don't.
life must be a boring thing.
Do you even have a soul?
No. I work for Fletcher Building.
It took your soul years ago when you signed that employment contract.
Yeah.
When you had to be sober for that 24 hours for the drug test.
It was,
Worst
enough
24 hours of my
for you.
life.
it was hard.
Do you not even like music? What sort of psychopath
No,
are you?
I do. I just don't really like sing. with it.
Loser. So you're saying if we invited you out to karaoke, you wouldn't go?
Oh no, I've done karaoke and nah. So I've got this thing where talking or standing up in front of like a large group of people, I tend to faint. So I was really pissed one night, and so my friends wanted to test the theory, and they shoved me up on the karaoke stage. And so yeah, it was fun.
And you faint.
Then how do you still do stripper stuff if you faint in front of people like that?
Yeah, it's weird. Doesn't apply.
Wow. Mind equal.
You know,
More worried about my junk falling out.
His alter ego Priscilla comes out whenever he's stripping, and he just becomes like unstoppable. He just mind just flicks into stripper mode, and he just
I
starts
just recently watched that
Yeah,
movie.
it's more the talking in front of people,
Yeah.
which is funny that I'm in the position that I'm in because I have to do that quite a bit. But yeah.
Or do you just send your staff text messages?
Great
We're
idea.
gonna do our staff meeting over text today in Messenger. Everyone go to a quiet place and message me back.
No. So it's standing up in front of a large crowd of people.
So are you going to give a speech at Ryan's wedding? Because I fucking hope so.
There'll be
down,
no
Rambo on standby.
there'll be
I'm
no
down.
impromptu there'll be no impromptu speeches at the wedding. They're all going to be scripted. No.
Scripted, vetted beforehand.
No, there'll be random speeches. Kim's dad will speak, and that will be enough.
I refused to have
I mean-
speeches at my wedding. I was like, fuck, I've done some dodgy shit in my time. I don't want anybody bringing that up. We just glossed straight over it and kept on going.
Now there'll be speeches, and they will not be scripted or rehearsed, and there'll be embarrassing ones. And it'll be
And we'll
fun.
be Matt fainting.
There's 180 people there, so I don't know if that's a big enough crowd to make you faint. Yeah. Big enough.
He needs 181.
I'm already not excited about doing some sort of speech at the wedding, so there you go.
Are you going to stand up and have your long awkward pause, and then just hello everyone,
And then
I hope
ask
you've
everyone
had
a random
great
question.
day.
I just do the classic, the three rings of wedding speech, the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffer ring, and then start from there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, it's pretty early, eh?
Careful, your poo.
Okay, so fish chat. What are we going to talk about fish chat? I feel like we've already talked about fish a little bit now in our intro, which was quite good. Does anyone in the comments section have any fish chat they want to bring up?
And awkward pause.
No, that's great. Okay, cool. How about we just talk about Frontosa again? That's what we do, isn't it?
I don't want to talk about Frontosas. I don't want
yeah.
to talk about Frontosas.
I tried to get you some Black Widows the other day too. A friend of mine's
What
got
happened?
some, and he doesn't want to sell them. So that was a great story. But I tried to get them for you.
Thanks.
Big ones.
Cool.
So your Frontosa are getting kept then, Cam, are they?
Hopefully, we're going to plan. All going to plan. So,
Nice.
still
What type do you have?
just standard brandy. It's still a little bit up in the air whether or not I'll be able to achieve the 3 tanks and the 3 setups that I want, but fingers crossed we can. So
You're just
I don't-
going to have 3 big tanks, no breeding, nothing.
Do
I'm
we
not really
do we know
breeding.
anyone? Sorry, do we know anyone breeding red Frontosas?
Nah, because they're kind of dumb.
Nah, they're cool.
They're not really red. They're kind of like a
Peach.
off
Purple colour?
blue.
yeah,
It's not even. It's like a maroony sort of bluey sort
yes,
of black.
they're not
Up
not
the
like
maroons.
they're not
Up
like
the
red.
maroons.
What?
Up the maroons. Oh, Brandon brought something up. Brandon would like to say, let's talk about the breeding project and how it's going. Is Cam the only one who has kept his fish alive? Yes. I'm the unanimous
Why'd you
winner.
have to bring that up?
Why are we talking
You just
about
went
that
from
again?
superhero to villain.
Brenton, 0 to 0. 0 to 0. You're gone.
Yeah,
Cut.
I am the unanimous winner. Feels quite
Really,
glorious being a top
What
of this
happened
hill
was
on the
Matt and I
throne.
got sick fish infected
Stitched
with
up.
the gange, and they killed it. They killed everything. So there you go.
Well, no, it was mine maybe went so bad. Cam felt threatened, so he sent me a fish that had the gange. Passed the gange on to mine. That's why.
Pretty sure none of that happened at all. If anything, your fish from me should have been healthier because I went through all the bullshit that goes through when they come in from wholesale, and I lost a bunch, and then I made them strong and secure and looked after them and prepped them up and fed them up in live food and treated them and medicated them, made them amazing. You killed them. You're the killer. You're a murderer. Fish murderer.
Cool. Helen's got a
Brandon,
comment
appreciate
there.
it.
Someone needs to read out because there's words in there that I can't pronounce.
Helen,
So
she said,
what-
I've been following advice from Benny from the Parish on this project and doing straight RO water changes on my licorice gouramis, and it's looking hopeful for spawning them.
Licorice guamis.
Whammy.
That would have been from one of the live streams that I sent you a message afterwards saying, holy shit, this was incredible. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever done in my life. And you would have gone, whatever, it's not a dumb
do that
African secret.
Every
Oh, I
week.
thought you were just talking about your poo that you had that morning.
That's not quite.
Cool. All right. Well, we've talked about Frontosas, Tritosa, and Perispermis project. That's great. Yeah.
Yep, at least 1 or 3 years and keep fish alive. Yeah, that's right. Although I have lost a few cories recently.
Are you keeping your You had a whole bunch of Dumplicos. So you're going to keep them still?
Yeah, so all going to plan. There'll be a big tank with frontos, or a big tank with clown loaches, and a big tank with basically Amazonian fish, the L numbers and the corridor dine, and a few tetras. That's the plan.
Why don't
pretty
you
much.
have your clown loaches with your frontoses?
Because I don't like that, and I don't think it's right.
Why don't you think it's right?
I'm kind of anti putting fish from different parts of the world together, and
Are you
for a
racist?
fish that likes a little bit, and for a fish that likes to be in acidic water quite regularly, to go into really hard water with the frontosa, I don't think it's okay.
So how many
Why-
clown loaches do you have?
So
How big are they?
I also think that it doesn't do justice to the frontosa, because the clown loaches do what clown loaches do, and the frontosa want to be nice and relaxed and quiet.
How many do you have, and how
Why-
big are they, the clown loaches?
Clown loaches. I'm not sure. I think it's about 10. It might be more, it might be less, and the biggest one's about that big.
For people that are listening in audio format,
Oh,
how
yeah.
big is that?
Probably 20 to 25 centimeters, 20 centimeters. They're quite big fish. They're not little ones by any stretch. Like, they're beginning to get the height on them, and they're losing their bright colours and into the grey shimmer colour.
Nice. I heard someone was telling me the other day about someone who read some or watched some video or something on someone that spawned them naturally, with trying to replicate their natural environment or something, and letting the water level drop, and then using some sort of fancy chemical filtration system to remove all the nitrates and stuff, and then doing that sort of stuff. So maybe that could be a project for you.
One day.
Do you reckon yours are big enough to be mature?
Oh, easily. A couple months back, there was definitely a gravid female for sure.
So the are these ones that you got as like surrenders and stuff over the years?
Yeah. People have closed down fish rooms or moved house or whatever, and I've said I'll take what you got, take your lunches, sort of thing. So
Nice.
always
Big ones
eyes
command a lot of
open
money.
for your lunches. What's that? Sorry.
Big ones can command a lot of money.
Yeah, they can, but some people think they command more money than what I think they're probably worth. But yeah, they are ridiculously slow growing. So yeah.
Do you think
I haven't-
as people who have kept fish for a long time, say like in Ryan and myself doing the breeding, and you with the fish room and breeding, we're less like we're how do I put it? Cheap.
Are you cheap?
No, so like compared to hobbyists, like they see a price and they go, "Oh yeah, sweet, okay, I'll pay that." Whereas we're more likely to go, "That's way overpriced." No, I'll
Well,
give
yes
you
and no.
half. I'll give you half the amount that you're going to.
I'd
the
say
price
yes
for.
and no. Like
Depends on the fish.
we're more
What it
likely to
is.
pay more money for an obscure fish because we know what it is, and a
Yeah.
hobbyist is more likely to just want a bluefish, a pretty bluefish for as cheap as they can, because they just want a
Mhm.
bluefish.
Yeah,
But then-
depends on what it is and all that kind of stuff, and everything's for sale for the right price, if that makes sense. And it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And if someone wants $700 for a 15 centimeter clown loach, I'm not going to pay that. If someone wants $50 for a 15 centimeter clown loach, then you go, well, that could be well worth it.
I guess the way you see it is with equipment, and sometimes you do laugh when you see someone trying to sell a tank for retail price when they've had it for like 2 years. You're like, that ain't gonna sell.
I always try and tell people, once you buy a tank, once it walks out that door, it's now half the value.
Yeah, it's worse than a used car, because everyone
or
needs a car and not everyone needs an aquarium. So
Give
there's
or
a lot more demand. Yeah, and they're hard to move, especially the bigger they get, the harder they are to get rid of.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on who's looking, though.
So you're saying
Kings
because
on-
we've been around, you think we're cheap asses? Is that what you're saying?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Probably more so, like as you say, with equipment than fish, because fish is relative to what we're interested in. And
Can you say more selective? Like down to equipment, why after you've been in the hobby for 20 years and you've already got 10 boxes of random filters and heaters, do you want another box of random filters and heaters? Whereas
I
when you
could
first
tell
got
you
into
for
the
a
hobby and
fact-
you're excited and someone said, oh, I've got a couple of boxes there. Sweet as, $100 done.
I've got to tell you for a fact that you need to have as many FX5s as you can, and that's why I have 2 unused under my house.
You never know when you might need one.
Just because, you know.
I thought they were your dumbbells.
Dumbbells. Yeah. Well, I do think the 3 Idiots Talk Aquariums workout sessions have to happen at some stage. And the problem is the 3 of us need to be in the same place at the same time to record it. So yeah.
So that'd be like at your wedding. So if that's the case, you need to buy another 4 more FX5/FX6s for us to use. Oh, 6 more. Get
Why?
installed FX screens.
I was just going to fill them with concrete.
Fill the FXs with concrete.
Yeah. And then they'll be heavy enough to use as a weight. I mean, like young Cam, we'll just put like some polystyrene inside it, obviously. But, you know.
Just give them the casing without the motor.
The 17 grams of polystyrene will be too much for him. A pound of 2-year-old antibiotics. That sounds like something you can sell on the corner in New Zealand. You got to bring it down here and start peddling that shit. Can't get antibiotics here. It's the good shit. It's the good white powder.
Cool.
All right. So what other fish stuff we're going to talk about? Nothing?
Dunno.
Cool. All right. How many boxes of fish crap do you have lying around, Matt?
6.
6. And how big are they?
Like banana boxes.
That's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I did just do a big clean out.
A purge. And Cam, you've purged a lot of shit too, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I'm down to 3 or 4 boxes of stuff now. But I have just taken a full cage trailer to the dump, which included canister filters, 3D backgrounds, and everything else in between.
I bet there was some treasure in there.
Guarantee there was some treasure in there. I know there was some treasure in there. Nobody wanted my treasure, so the dump took it. The dump monster.
Yeah. I've quite a few storage containers of filters underneath my house that I'm probably never going to use, to be honest. I probably need to get rid of them.
But one day you might need them. One day.
The problem
Don't do it. One day we'll use them.
But the problem is, I'm probably not going to, and they're fucking leaky and stuff. And I just spent so long trying to fix them already. It's just a pain in the ass.
So
Then
they're
why
pretty
did
much
you keep
things
them?
of fish room.
What's that?
Why'd you keep them?
Because I might fix them one day, but I'm probably not going to fix them.
Because it's like a magpie with a shiny head and it reflects on the stuff he's looking at. It's like, oh, shiny! I've got to keep that. And some bounces off its forehead straight onto the equipment. Shiny, mine.
It's because you might fix them is the worst reason possible. It's like Cam's sister thinking that she'll fix him by marrying him.
For the record, I don't have a sister.
You have a wife.
I have.
They had to change terminology. He wasn't allowed to call her. She's like, listen, love, it's now frowned upon for you to call me sis. You have to call me wifey. Okay.
I don't have a biological sister or a stepsister or a stepmother.
Then why? You were just telling us the other day that she got stuck in the washing machine.
My wife has no blood relation to me whatsoever, other than she has the same last name as me because she changed it when we got married. There is no relation there. I promise.
Have you done the
Uh-huh.
DNA test?
Mm-hmm. He just laughed. He's like, "We don't do that shit. We don't believe in that, Nelson." So, are you saying all those slogans that I helped you write for that job application were not appropriate? Were not true?
Yeah, no, I didn't get that job.
Or did you send in my slogans that I helped you write?
I didn't.
Well, that's why
I
you
thought
didn't get the fucking
if
job.
I got the job, I'd keep that deep down ready to rock and roll. I could come on my first day and say, "Here, look at all these
secret
amazing
weapon.
ideas that I had."
A secret weapon.
Yeah, but I didn't
That's
get
no
the
good.
job, so there is that.
Cool. All right. Well, Helen has some coralline algae in her wave maker, so I believe that's a good thing if you've got a marine tank. You want
Yep.
that horrible purple algae that you can't get off anything and just takes
It's
over
so
everything.
pretty. It's
It is
pretty.
pretty, but it's very hard.
So it's the opposite of you.
Not right
Ugly
now.
and real soft.
Oh, dear.
All right, cool. Well, we've managed to soldier on for an hour, so I think we're probably done, eh? Probably need a topic next week, eh? So we'll have to sort that out.
Be helpful. Maybe we would
Mm,
throw up something better than what we've done today.
Yeah, I think it was good quality today. It's good.
It's just the kind of quality that you would potentially cull if you got it from somebody.
It's possible. Freshwater coralline algae. I don't even know that exists.
Ah. Up to the Google machine.
I thought that was
Google.
only a marine thing.
Freshwater coralline algae.
Gotta learn. Gotta learn.
Google says it's there.
It's red. Nice.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Wow, Brenton didn't just make it up.
It's even. Oh no. No, I was going to say Niue has something about it, but I believe they're in the saltwater realm. Wow.
Cool. All right.
No,
well,
no. I don't know. No, I don't know. That looks like a reef tank to me. I'm going to do some investigating in about 3 weeks' time when I remember again.
you won't.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Subscribe, like, send us emails, all that sort of stuff. If you've got any topic ideas, let us know as well. And yeah, good times.